Ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to the Bat and the Bandit, episode 31, with my best friend in the whole wide world, Mr. Lee Rogers. And we have a very special guest today, Danny Corr. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Very excited about
it. All good.
For people that may not know, Danny is, and I'll indulge you a wee bit here, I would say a pillar of the Irish martial arts community, you know, a member of the Sports Hall of Fame, Belfast, really responsible for legitimising the sport to a certain extent on this island. So thank you very much for joining us, Danny.
Brilliant. Really happy to be here. Excited. It's like a second date with Lee. You know?
Yes, me.
Right. Before we get stuck in here,
me and Danny are close.
We're very close.
Close.
We got tattoos together the first date.
I would like to state that Lee Rogers is my best friend of 15 years, and Danny Corr has just swarmed in like a thief in the night on a day I wasn't here as well, under the cover of darkness.
Sometimes these things happen. You know? You find it in your heart and your soul, simpatico, and away you go.
So our friend Danny Corr.
Our friend Danny Corr.
Yep. For people that may not know, like I say, you're a lifelong martial artist.
Yeah.
People know you predominantly as a coach. You're also involved in the regulation of the sport. Yep. You've also moved into the promotion side of things as well.
Something I thought I'd never do. I wanted to stay away from, but
what was your thoughts on staying away from it?
I just thought, look, everybody else is doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm big into the coaching side, love that side of it, and I thought it's just a step too far for me.
Okay.
Get into that side of it, and there's a lot of issues around it, but then I thought, why not? You know, I help everybody else getting their shows together.
Good.
So.
That's good.
Well, you've also a very clear and level moral compass.
Yeah, thank you.
And I think sometimes that has been lacking in the MMA community with regards to shows.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, you know, you have that sometimes with match-ups and reasons behind shows and guys maybe being put in that shouldn't be put in.
Yeah.
Did you get the feeling that if you could put on your own show, then you could dispel these kinds of things and have a more genuine approach to putting on an MMA show?
Well, there's sort of a couple of reasons. If I'm being honest, we were starting to struggle to get matches, good matches, and I thought, look, if I put on a show, we can sort of level us out a wee bit and get good match. And if you watch the first two shows, every match is matched almost perfectly.
Yeah.
Every fight you've been there.
There's no gimmies.
There's no gimmies at all, you know. And look, I have two sons in this game.
Exactly.
And
two animals too.
Two. Well, yeah. I want to see the food eating the house.
And what you could do very easily, Danny, that if you were of a lesser moral, genuine nature, you could just be giving your boys gimme fights. But 100%. That's exemplified by Emmett's last fight against Michael Shields. Yeah. That was two of the best super featherweights on the island. Mm-hmm. And it was a pick 'em fight for people. People were 50-50 on it. And, you know, Emmett didn't necessarily... Yeah. He didn't get the win. Michael got the win. But you could have easily put him in with some...
100%. Could have got him somebody easy just to move him onto the pro scene which he wants to go. But
do you find that being a father of two fighters is you have a responsibility to make sure them boys are getting the right fucking... They're on the right road, the right fights, you know what I mean? You can't just kind of...
Look, I think Phil touched on it's all about honesty and integrity. And if you want to last long in this game, martial arts, be honest with yourself and everybody else, and then you'll get somewhere, you know.
Fantastic.
Started this in 1980. I was looking back there in 1982.
I seen a fucking cracker photograph of you doing a big side kick when you were fucking...
Oh, in Las Vegas. And I was in Randy Couture's gym and
Extreme
Couture.
Was in the World Championships.
So was that 2007 or the 2010?
That one was 2010. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't think you had a beard. Did you even have a beard?
I didn't have a beard then. No.
Yeah. That's a fucking belter of a beard, mate. No
say there's about 4 chins hiding underneath it.
I feel a bit shape with this one today.
We were talking about the appropriate matchups at amateur. Do you think that it's creeping in now in Irish MMA? Not leading you by any stretch of the imagination. I believe this, so I want to state that. Do you believe that a wee bit too much emphasis is being put on amateurs with regards to the records, sponsorships, these kinds of things? Whereas I always thought amateurs should be a dress rehearsal for pro.
Like Phil, you're seeing novices putting posts up about getting sponsorship
and fight kits and
fight kits, or what for?
Yeah, that's it. Well, the problem is that they're amateurs. They should be keeping their head in the game if they want to get, because obviously the goal is to get the pro. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So having that and sponsors and all, it's kind of funny because they're training like pros, like a lot of them are.
Yeah. But what you see is you should see that progression, and your amateur career should be a developmental pathway. I think Jack is probably the greatest exponent of that.
Yeah, appreciate that.
You know, through the IMAF developmental structure, where he's picking up wins, he's picking up losses. He's probably learning a lot more from his losses, going and fighting internationally, fighting some of the best guys from different countries. And I can't remember who it was said, you know, at that stage, records are for DJs. It doesn't matter. It's about gaining the experience, not the wins and loss ratio.
Yeah, if you talk about Jack, like 18 years of age, I put him into the IMAFs and the World Championships and European Championships, you know, and I was maybe a bit naive too at that, and I thought, this is fantastic, great setup, that's what I want to do. I wasn't too fond of putting him into shows at that time. We'd done shows with like Carr McNally and all, looking at his career, and Kieran Breslin especially. Wanted to try this system out. So, and you're winning and losing all in the same week.
Yeah.
You know, guys are fighting 3 times in a week.
Yeah, I mean, when Jack got that bronze medal,
How the fuck are their shins and all taking that 3 times in a week?
Well, they're wearing shin guards.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
right. Okay.
Well, say that they're cloth.
They're
cloth, you know.
So
and I think people had a misconception that was some kind of novice event. Those things.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they did.
You look at guys that have won medals there. You know, Muhammad Makayev is now a former UFC fighter, re-signed with Brave. You have top-notch guys.
Jose Torres. UFC who came through that system as well.
Aaron Wallace.
Won
a bronze in 2014.
What a boy.
And would have gone to the final.
He was injured.
Except he didn't get medical clearance.
That's right.
Absolutely crazy.
What happened to him at the time?
I think it was his foot.
Something, foot or shin or something.
I think he checked the kick or something and it blew his foot up.
But it's tough, and it builds serious character, because say you're winning and losing on that same week. You can't win a fight and then take 8 weeks off the gym and disappear and come back again, start training again.
A lot of people do that though, don't they?
We don't do it in our gym. We don't do it. Like, and we don't even like to talk about having fight camps. Just train harder.
Just stay in shape.
Stay in shape and train harder.
That's the way to do it.
And of course, they have to have their breaks. Like with a squad of them are all away on holiday this week to Cabos. I've thrown them all out of the gym, by the way. For this.
They're not your boys this week. Like,
no, to show them if anything happens,
Talk to us a wee bit about your start in martial arts. What was the sort of the genesis of your pathway in the martial arts?
Was it karate?
It was karate.
At the beginning?
Yeah, it was karate. Waterloo karate. Yeah.
Oh, that was fucking.
Brunton.
Oliver Brunton. Fuck me, I trained a bit with him when I was a kid. Carrick Leisure Centre.
Yeah, when you look back, karate was massive then. You know, it was early 80s. It wasn't. Then it just started to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
What was your major influence, or like what was it? What was it sparked your interest in it?
Watching Bruce Lee and Enter the Dragon and in a wee place in Ardoyne. I'm pretty sure it was like a pirate wasn't allowed to be shown. Like, but it was on a social club. We were all kids, and like if you have to think back at that time. There's no such thing as martial arts or in movies. It was all
a mysticism.
It was all John Wayne, The Quiet Man, all stuff. Great film.
So,
but I mean,
that's an interesting point. At what stage? Who was learning it at the time to be able to come and teach it?
There was Japanese instructors come over here.
Oh, was there?
They come over here. Yeah, there was 2.
They were training white lads then, and they were
training. And then when you think of it, like I went down to this place in College Street, which I think is just gone now. Used to be a big sign up beside, where Leisure World and all down there, and athletic stores down there. And this was like a mystical place to go to, you know. And
did you find it spiritual kicking martial arts early on, or was it for the fucking bravado at the time?
It wasn't even bravado. I was like 9 stone wet, skinny rump.
It was a
fascination, and I liked that dedication. I mean, it was extreme.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't allowed to speak in the class. You weren't allowed to scratch your nose. You weren't allowed to any. You had to speak I presume it was Japanese. I mean, the guys from West Belfast couldn't be talking anything. So
even the moves and stuff was everything the traditional Japanese names.
Everything.
John Sinky punches and shit.
As soon as you walked in, Seiza had to sit down, to kneel down, and all the Japanese words thrown at you. And if you didn't know them, tough. Follow along and get done. There was no instruction as you get high, and there's no pandering to you and going, "Are you okay?" I mean, I remember training and a guy passed out in front of us, collapsed on the ground. Nobody's allowed to go near him. Leave him.
If he dies, he dies.
Just step it over him.
So fucking hell. So, I mean, we've all never passed out in the MMA gym, which is fucking extreme. EFR was a fucking crazy horse for that shit. Mm-hmm. Was it hard back then, the warm-ups and shit, even then?
Like, the whole thing was tough, it was all...
Was it designed that way? Was that the intent?
I think that was the intent. It was the old Japanese ethos of, you have to train hard, you have to keep going, and, used to use a stick to hit you with if you were standing. I tell people this is the thing. If you were standing, your arms out and all, boom, it's not straight. Or remember one occasion he used to stand with a samurai sword If you're not doing your reverse kick perfectly, you know, it's going to hit the tip of the sword, you know. So you get good very quick. That's what I'm saying. But no such thing as insurance or.
Would this have been kind of in the heart of the troubles too?
It's the heart of the troubles.
So you've got a mad juxtaposition there of what's going on outside of the gym and then inside of the gym. It's a contrast.
Well, I think that's where I bring to the gym, my gym now, and what I do. You know, it took me out of not that I had a fantastic family, fantastic parents, but I was born in Ardoyne, lived in Ardoyne all my life. You've seen those troubles through, and I was a weirdo anyway. Like I wasn't into the normal thing, so I found this martial arts. I had to travel into the town every day, which was, believe it or not, was a risk then. You know.
Oh, I was a fucking curfew and all.
We
that.
have to go through checkpoints or anything.
Through the checkpoints. You're making me sound ancient, but
yes,
I did.
No, seriously, but he won't remember them.
No,
you had to go through the gates and the CSU search. Yeah.
You're saying about 1982. I was born in 1988.
Right, okay. Right.
Not to make you feel old.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, no, it was even the thought of you getting into the town, you know, your parents would have cracked up. You know, most of the time was sneaking in, you know, or you had to get a bus either down to Crumlin or down to Shankill, which was...
Did your parents understand at the start of your martial arts journey, or... Like my dad, he used to sit and watch a Bruce Lee movies. He was always, I went do that.
My dad was into boxing. Dad was a boxer, and all his brothers were boxers. Like, so they understood that bit of it, but they just thought this was a mysterious thing. I remember my dad going, "Bloody crap!" You know, until I kicked him in the head. Not kicked him in the head, put my kick up in his head one day.
And
you know?
Would you have known back then who like a Frankie McConville and all was, or was that
later on in the 90s? I would have met Frankie and had very friendly with Frankie.
He was a fucking interesting
He was
character.
Unbelievable.
He went
and a proper Thai guy.
He came up and did a couple of seminars.
Yeah,
and he fucking I think it was Doozer through his Thai pads down on the mats, and he fucking cracked up. It weren't even it was Doozer's own Thai pads. He fucking cracked up, and he says, "Don't ever fucking let me see you doing that again."
It's all the etiquette bit.
All the traditional values.
And you have to look the values that I bring to my gym, and we still have them, but we're fun loving. Like everybody's loves training and has a good crack, but the training side is deadly serious, you know. But look, it was brilliant for me, and as you say, in the troubles. Like I fought for Great Britain, walked through Ardoyne with a Great Britain tracksuit on.
tracksuit.
Nobody bothered me. Nobody gave me any credit.
Because
I knew what you were doing.
There's a certain bit of respect you're going to get for getting there anyway, no matter who.
No, it was fantastic. I mean, you fought all over the world. I mean, coming as a kid from Ardoyne, I fought in Poland before the Iron Curtain came down. 1980.
That's
holy shit, mate.
Which was something else, you know. They brought us the Auschwitz and all, which wasn't even a tourist thing then.
Yeah, that must have been bleak at the time.
It was pretty bleak, like, you know. But we had a guide who was the original Borat, and after this I'll send you a picture of him. Just the same thing, Tyson all, and like he used to try and get anything you had with you, your aftershave off you. Could you give me that? Because it's nothing, you know. But, and also we hadn't a clue what the police fighters were like. We thought we were going over and kill these.
No. Tough lads.
Shit clean out of us, you know.
That Eastern European mentality.
They were doing it for their livelihoods and their food. You know.
Even now, Polish Jiu-Jitsu has really rose to prominence because they're under the ADCC banner. They have guys like Marcin Bandal, who's a European champion, like crazy Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, they're tough.
You know, they're really tough guys. I think it breeds a toughness there as well.
Yeah. Is our Jiu-Jitsu a different system? Is it, or is it just
no? It's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I just think there's a mentality there. You know,
they're big into the combat Jiu-Jitsu as well. That's where sport Jiu-Jitsu stuff. You know, so
like World Federation stuff, that type of thing.
No, this was like full contact almost.
Right, okay.
Is it precursor to MMA?
Yeah, it was those. I fought that in Vegas and in Jersey. How did you progress then from karate into the sports jiu-jitsu side of things? I went this journey. If you look at it, where everyone's on a journey. I knew. Well, this is it. Like, but I knew karate had everything in it. It just was never shown. I mean, the original karate was for proper fighting, but it had been watered down for the up and down the hall stuff, you know. So I get into all the Japanese word, the bunkai of it, all the application, and everything, and it just transposed from that, you know, this stuff does work. There is throws, there is grappling and karate. You know.
Am I mistaken? Did you end up in the Thai Jitsu Association as well?
No, I met big Paddy Ritchie.
Right, okay.
And Owen Wilson, all them boys, you know, so that's who I fought with over in the World Championships.
So it was Paddy Ritchie, Gary McAllister, Colin Mills.
Yeah.
Remember him?
Yeah.
Is he dead?
I'm not sure, and I don't know.
I used to love that man. Yeah. And Curly, Ian Harsh, yeah.
Aye, Curly was good. Like,
I remember seeing Curly kicking a fucking Coke tin. I was my wee fucking, I think it was maybe my wee green belt grading. It was wee. Yeah. And I remember watching him kicking a fucking Coke tin off a big tall lad's head. And Curly's about fucking
they were into everything, weapons and all sorts.
Yes, mate,
you know, so
we had good fun with that. Like.
Yeah. But that's what happened. Like, I was asked to then coach this Irish team, Sport Jiu-Jitsu. I hadn't even a clue what it was to myself. be honest with you. You know, just asked to coach it, and then thought this is more realistic. You know, throws, takedowns, all sorts on it. You know,
but there's we're huge MMA guys. We love mixed martial arts. A lot of the times, what you see from a more traditional martial art is almost a snobbery and a resistance to engage in martial arts. Obviously, you having the analytical mind that you have, were able to break that down. Was it weird? Was there almost people from the traditional community looking at you, wondering why is he going this direction? And what do you communicate there?
Was it considered brutish?
Yeah, oh God,
Well, you think about the early days of the UFC in 1993, it was marketed as 2 men enter, 1 man leaves, human cockfighting.
And also the other side of it, the people who were in MMA at the time looked at me and going, "The fuck's this guy doing?" Do you know what I mean? And that was part of it. You know, why is this guy coming in here? I remember going to the Ramble Inn, Rowan Prendeville, 18 years of age, down to the Ramble Inn and walking in and going, you have to take it. I was from this regulated sport, which was all organised, and you're going away and fighting, and it's all, everything's perfect, and you walk into the Ramble Inn, and I was going, what the fuck is this? Like,
Who would have been, at 18, who would have been on those cards in the Ramble?
Rowan Prendeville, from our gym, he just turned 18. He came to me.
Aaron Kennedy, I mean, knocking about around
Aaron
that time.
Kennedy was later on. Yeah, Aaron Kennedy was later on. Brilliant. He was funny. He was over at the weekend here. But
were they they wouldn't have been UFR shows. That was too early.
EFR. They were UFR actually.
UFR, weren't they?
UFR, the forum. Do you remember the forum?
UFR Fight Night.
Yeah.
There you go.
They were pretty mad, like in the ring and
5 rope ring.
Rowan Prendeville was really like, I don't think he gets the credit for being as much of a trailblazer as he was at the time. Because do you remember on UXC, one of the best fights I have ever seen live.
We have the big picture of him still up on the wall.
Swollen eye with a belt
and doing his meditation. That freaked people out. They were going, "What is he doing here?"
So he was meditating before he fought. Like
no. After? In the second round, when his nose was busting, his eyes were blown out, and he came back in and beat Conor White.
Mate, there has to be a spiritual kick to all this. There has to be. Do you know what I mean?
You're sitting and thinking
there's definitely
the Odyssey
kick to
that time. And the Odyssey getting your face. Because there's knees in and
there's knees in amateur, I remember the first time I ever got kneed in the face in competition, because you don't do it in training.
No.
You don't do it in training. You wear pads or something and you lay them in. The first time you get hit flush with a knee,
you don't even have to be good at it, you know.
No,
just
like there.
Hit you and that's it.
And the same way the first time you get punched flush, because even sparring, you might have a hard spar, but you're not.
You're not dropping these. You're touching.
Even punching, you can't simulate that feeling of being punched full force in a fight. So it's absolutely crazy back in the day. But then again, with regards to the regulation of the sport, you're seeing things like knees to the head being taken out. You're seeing more.
I mean, I think the biggest catalyst was the Carvalho death.
Yep, 100%.
The biggest catalyst. And look, it was, I remember myself and Rodney Moore and Peter Avery were heavily involved at the time. And people don't even know this. Like, it was us that set up the first All Ireland.
Yep. Andy Ryan, Peter Laverty, John Cavan, and yourself.
Yeah, because we had an Ulster Championships, which Clanmores hosted, and boys that won from that then went to fight in the All Ireland. Yeah. Big Arm Wilson. I don't have to go away to Vegas. And then
was Dennis Perry, or was that the year after?
Dennis Perry, yeah. Yep. Was that the year after? No, I think that was the same year. So that was all set up at the time, but then the Carvalho death, and people still this, they don't realise how bad. The death was horrendous and tragic, but what that was going to mean for MMA, I mean, they were closing it down. The council here was closing down. Clanmores was the first show after it, and it was never going to happen. Yeah. So we had to go and sit at the table and convince these guys that we're going to put in more medical than had previously. I mean, there was no medical. It was, I think it's St. John's Ambulance or something. Yeah.
I mean, the good thing about the sport is that there's no standing the account. Yeah, do you know what I mean? I think that's a dangerous fucking thing. That it's a
wobbling about.
Do you know what I mean?
You're okay. That's one. And every fighter will say they're okay.
Of course, nobody's going to keep up.
It's instinct, you know.
I've boxed and I've competed in bare knuckle boxing.
I know your class.
Thank you very much.
Somebody.
I dropped the guy twice in a round. And he got up again, and obviously as a fighter he wanted to continue to fight. But if that had been MMA, he would have dropped. You would have followed up. He would have either been finished or been submitted or held on. The standing 8 count, I love boxing, absolutely love boxing, but the standing 8 count blows my mind.
And like all of that was stuff we had to use. I mean, I spent God, the guts of 10 years going right to the sport council.
You have to get over that initial misconception of what the sport was, because obviously people just see it as a visceral cage fight.
First time I went to meet the sports council, this know-it-all. Now, I'm a civil servant, so I know all that rubbish and bullshit.
Yeah.
What you have to say. So I knew what I was going to face when I went in. I don't think like Sir Rodney and all would have been used to that, because they're not used to these white collar people talking at them, you know. And this guy just threw down in front of me. Do you remember the Daily Mail? And it was all over the news at the time. That it was a cage fighting kids. It was.
Yeah.
It was a show. Neil Hall was refereeing. God rest him. And it wasn't even cage fighting. It was they were grappling in the ring, but they had no shirts on and all that stuff. You know.
It was the aesthetic of it.
Is this what you do? This is horrendous. This is the cockfighting and stuff. You know, so all that. So you had to dispel all that. And the only way to dispel that is by facts. You can't just go. I try to explain to people, you can't just go and say, this sports class, we're great.
Yeah. This sport's safe, don't worry about it.
There's another 200 sports out there that are great. What do I want you for?
How did you convince them?
I convinced them because I started doing all the youth program stuff. Yeah. So I went away to Brazil and was coaching in one of the favelas over there. And they run a thing, Fight for Peace it's called, they run a thing where they get literally kids off the street, out of the gangs, give them education, give them food, and everything. And then the adrenaline buzz is a sport.
Yeah.
They done boxing, MMA, and Valley Tudo over there then. And I just saw that's what we need. That's what we can show people what we can do here.
Yeah.
And started on youth programs in the gym where we would get the kids in and work with community groups. To get these kids in.
I know them well.
Yeah.
Spoken to a few community liaison officers.
Liaison officers, yes. And blacked out faces and all that. But get the kids in and teach them. And then we done a program during COVID where kids were getting their Maths and English exams in the gym. Kieran Maskey started to do that.
That's fucking fantastic.
Kieran Maskey now, you know.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so there's where you need the facts. You can't just go and say we're class, we're brilliant. No one cares, you know. If you show them that and you show them the statistics and how
indisputable.
You can't argue with me, you know.
I remember there was you were there as well. It was a couple of years back in the Bullet Hotel. There was an open forum debate. It was myself and a few other people. And people were saying, you know, the sport's dangerous, the sport's that. Yeah. But I was able to find statistics from the Centre for Catastrophic Sport Injury. So from 1993 to now, there's never been a serious injury or death in the UFC.
Right.
However, 16 people have died cheerleading.
Yeah.
In that time.
Dressage is one of the worst sports, you know.
There are exponentially more dangerous sports than MMA, just aesthetically.
Yeah.
You fighting in a cage, you see guys doing this.
I started doing that, the danger thing, right? Yeah. And then I started just get away from that completely, because that's not the argument for them, you know. It's what are you doing for kids? What is this? What benefit is this going to have as a long-term thing for kids, rather than just talking about? Because sometimes I think if you talk about this is not as dangerous as you're sort of still
you get into compare and contrast argument.
It's still dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know, that's all they're saying.
Which you can't shy away from.
No,
you can't shy away from the inherent risks in a combat sport.
You know, it is a combat. Look at you, boxing. Yep. Kids are punching the head of each other from their 8 years of age.
Football. There's now statistics and analysis saying that there's links between head and the ball and potential concussion problems. So you're going to have inherent risks, and they're accepted risks if you're getting involved in a sport. You're acutely aware of them and you accept them.
But I look back over the last 10 or so years, and the number of government agencies and people I've had to speak to and had to go to and do numerous presentations, and it's got there now, you know, and it's great because everybody's taken on board, and even now people want to do the coaching courses. People want to. They know these are the things that make the sport properly to the outside world, you know.
How many kids these days have got a whole new life, a whole lot of a different respect that maybe wouldn't have had that, maybe would have fell into the wrong. It's almost a cliche in this country. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Bad wee cunts are the best kids to take under your wing to kind of show this, because it lets them know you do what you fucking need to do in there, but out here you're this, this, and I think that's fucking beautiful.
And it's sort of it's a difficult thing. I love sport and I love martial arts and everything about it. And then, but also what you're saying is the money thing coming in. You know, people are charging a lot of money for kids to train, and I've absolutely no problem with people getting a living out of that. I'd want to get these kids that come through and get their Maths and English to make a living out of MMA. But we'll have to start controlling it a wee bit, you know. Like the kid, none of the fighters, none of the youth programs pay any money in our gym. Now, it's very difficult, and I'm very lucky I don't do it as a living. You know, we're set up as not for profit, and not everybody can do that. But has to be a balance somewhere, you know. Otherwise, we're not going to get those kids.
Well, that's what
you only want to get the kids who can afford it.
That's it. What about the kids' classes and stuff you're running? Is there anybody there that you kind of do you find yourself keeping an eye on certain wee ones that are fucking that maybe have a future in this, or is it just about being kids and enjoying it?
Just being kids and enjoying it. Because I always look at my own kids, and you know, you cannot look at them and go, "I'm going to be good, I'm going to be great," or else they'll go the other way, you know, sooner or later. You know,
it's a very natural process.
Yeah, look, I really made sure the kids done everything. I mean, Jack and I had played basketball for Ireland and all.
Shit.
And a set of twins, Shane and Callum, are coming up, and they're probably better coaching than any of us have been, because they've been brought up in this new system where everybody's mentoring each other, looking after each other, you know. So
Jack represented Northern Ireland in wrestling as well, didn't he?
Wrestling, no,
which is weird, because you're just a striking club.
We're just striking. That's
the rumour. That's the rumour.
Emmett won the All Ireland wrestling championship, and Jack won the Ulster championship, you know. So yeah, no, we've always grabbed.
Who was a wrestling coach? Dave Finlay. Old Dave or fit? Young Dave.
Young Dave is a fit. He's the original fit.
Old Dave's gone, isn't he?
No, Dave's 80. He must be Dave. Well, I'm trying to work out when. He's 86.
And he only stopped coaching about 18 months, 2 years ago.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah. He stopped coaching. His daughter made him stop. And he would have done it. He wanted it. He used to always say this, well, dropping this mat, you know. And Dave's unbelievable. Old school, you know, strong, you know, and just hard wrestling.
Brilliant.
And as you say, like, I have pictures of Jack and Emmett with Dave and where that says, you know, but we just do karate.
But you sure he's just a striker?
Just karate.
Funny, I'll not name it, who it was, but Emmett was fighting somebody, and the coach was so annoyed, and Emmett out wrestling him and lifted him and threw him about all over the place. Came across me, what he's wrestling for?
Asked you what you were wrestling for?
That's what you were going to do on us, you know. So we just turned the tables on him, you know. But yeah,
getting back to the legislative side of things and the regulation side of things. Initially, how difficult was it when you first wanted to set up that All Ireland regulatory body, and then from that, subsequently there was a breakaway and you formed the Ulster MMA? How difficult was that to get recognition to try and form that in the very early stages?
Really difficult. I think I was one of the most hated people out there for doing the regulations.
By who,
you know, there was people that just didn't want that. You know, don't want
didn't want regulation, didn't want regulation, didn't want safety, and didn't want the progression of the sport.
I think I go back to saying, no, who the fuck's this guy?
Right.
You know, who's this guy coming in this? He's a karate guy. What the fuck's he doing? You know, and that's right. A bit of what it was. There was a bit of a snobbery around that, you know, and I think this country's. Everybody thinks people are always in it for something.
Yeah.
Everybody else says, he must be in it for, you know, that.
Which there are people like that, to be fair.
There are 100%. Of course, there are people. But what are you getting out of this? You know, what am I getting out of spending my own time going to meetings with Sports Council and writing submissions which are boring the life out of me? You know, I ain't getting nothing out of it. You know. So.
I mean, I know club because of this fucking commission. I know clubs then that backed off mixed martial arts and just said we're jiu-jitsu only. Mixed martial arts clubs who said,
but that would tell me they're not a mixed martial arts club, you know.
I
mean, a lot of clubs jumped on the McGregor bandwagon at the start, you know, that we'll make something out of this by being a McGregor.
See an opportunity to be exploited sometimes,
Yeah. So, and the regulation is hard, don't get me wrong, you know, if you want to, but you have to be, you know, the safety thing. I always go back to when I'm giving the courses is, you know, you could buy insurance tomorrow. Anybody could walk out and buy MMA insurance. Go on to First for Sport, fill it in, you'll get your insurance, pay your money, you'll get insurance in 2 minutes. It means nothing. If you haven't got all your other pieces in place, like, because as soon as something happens, they'll come to you and go.
Is it too easy to start a club now?
Far too easy, yeah.
And what can you do then to again regulate and put safeguards in place then?
I think, to be fair, people now are recognising that there are things to be done before you open a club. I mean, there's great clubs have opened, you know. Look at Ardo and MA, we Henry and
Henry
stuff,
the Corrigan brothers doing an incredible job.
Brilliant job, and really wanting to do things right.
And even then, collaboratively, they've worked with Adam from FAI to create the Junior League which is incredible.
That's cool.
Brilliant. Yeah. You know, so there are, but it still is easy that you could open a unit here and just start MMA. You know, so, but I think the next step is, and that's where it's going. You know, we've started this commission with Liam. You know, Sport and I have recognised the sport and recognised the governance of it,
which is absolutely huge.
The next step is just them to rubber stamp that MMA is fully recognised and is the governing body of it. You know,
How did the International Mixed Martial Arts Commission come about? Because obviously I've been to a few meetings about it. Aaron Wallace is the head of regulation for it. You have key figures within the MMA community who are lending their support to this, who are helping this to thrive. What was it that made you think this is what we need in the present MMA climate right now?
I think it was all, we had Ulster MMA, but again, there was only a few people involved with it. There was a load of clubs involved at the start and people benefited of it, but then it started to fall away, and I think the likes of Liam Shannon really being a force behind this made a big difference. Obviously, the biggest club in the country, I would say.
And McAllister too.
And Pat as well, wanting to put this in place was a big thing for us. So, and it's helped, now we're only at the start of it, so, but I've recently held a lot of coaching courses and guys that probably wouldn't have come on it before have all come, like all of Liam's guys came on it, all the Ardern MMA ones have come on it, and it's great, and they all hopefully go away happy that they're now like recognised, certified by IMAC that they're a coach, an MMA coach, and that in turn, if they're going for grants, they're going for funding, or if something, God forbid, happens in their club, they have a body behind them, you're not just on your own.
And like I say, you also have Aaron Wallace there, who for me is pound for pound one of the best referees. He doesn't necessarily get the recognition I think he deserves a lot of the time, but I've seen firsthand the International Mixed Martial Arts Commission looked after a Brave show in Austria, and Aaron went as the head of regulatory affairs. You could not fault that man. So straight at it, so good at it, and honest. And I keep going back to I have kids in this now. I treat all the young lads in the gym as my children almost, because I can't be two-faced about it. I can't do something for my kids that I'm not doing for the other ones who are coming in. And when they see Aaron Wallace in there, happy days.
How much pressure would be on you? I mean, you're saying that you treat everybody like that. There has to be, you're bound to be kind of dealing with putting fires out quite a bit as well with the kids coming through and stuff.
I'm only 27, by the way. This is
that's
what it looks like. All that pressure.
Me too.
Do you know what? I don't feel that. I feel we've now got this stage in the gym. It's quite big numbers going through the gym. I'm there every night of the week. I've also a lot of support. Ron Prendeville, for example,
great dude.
Still there. He was here when he was 5-year-old, and
that's crazy. From 5.
What age is he now? What age is he?
33?
He'll kill me now.
32, 33?
He'll kill me now.
I think he's close to 30, 34 maybe.
34, So it's a whippersnapper, he's alright.
Yeah, still there.
That's already a near 30-year martial artist.
That's fucking crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's crazy, I know. But so I don't feel pressure that way,
No, good.
I do good. When I'm on we're on the road show with my nephew Jared, who's unbelievable at running this. He does all the hard work, doing cornering, making sure they're all right. It's so difficult. Like that last one, I'm cornering 10 fighters. You want everybody to do well. It's not sort of, I don't want them to get hurt. That's your main thing. You're sitting going, hope I don't get hurt here. When they lose, you're heartbroken.
Of course, I've seen firsthand the investment you have in your fighters. Not just your boys, but like from start to finish, and that seems to be a real hallmark of your gym. Is that there is that sense of fraternity among the fighters, if you will.
Yeah, they always call it the family, it's like a J family.
Well, they all even exemplified by the fact that Wack them are away on holiday together. Do
you know I mean, me and Rowan.
Nothing to do with him, but
nothing to do with him.
But is that something that's been quite a natural thing, or was that an underpinning ethos that you wanted to have in the gym from the get-go?
I think we started to breed it as we went. It wasn't all about fighting. I always tell people it's not about fighting. People walk in, you'll always get the kids coming in, when can I fight? When you're asking me, you're not be fighting for and we don't. Like, there's other places they'll put.
Do you have a minimum expectation, or is it an individualised case each time? You see how the person's progressing.
You see how the person progresses, but I will not do a corner with you if I haven't seen you licking the walls, as we say, I mean, you have to be in there all the time because I want you to be safe. I don't want me to know that you'll be safe.
Well, that reminds me of something. You've just touched on something there that reminded me of. Was it 2016? Johnny Martin, Hugh Gleason.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I got abused for that.
In Clan Wars.
I know you're going here,
I thought that was some of the most genuine cornering I've seen, because it was as the first time.
That's the first I've heard that, Phil. Thank you.
It's the first I had seen a corner.
Just trying to be your best mate, don't worry.
Genuinely, it's the first I'd seen a corner through the Thailand.
Sneaky bastard.
I thrown the talent.
A corner through the Thailand.
Have you seen it since?
Looking after the fact. No. I've seen corner stoppages, but I haven't seen that, and that was 2016. It was a great fight as well,
but
it was the right thing to do.
What happened? I didn't see that.
He was...
Well, Hugh Gleason, I don't know if you
big dude,
remember.
like,
Huge.
massive.
I called him Huge Gleason. He was an absolute unit of a man.
Lightweight, wasn't it?
Yep.
Big lightweight.
Oh,
boy.
massive.
Fucking
Absolutely massive. But him and Johnny were fighting, and it was starting to go a particular way.
Yeah.
Now, you could have forced him to go, I think it was at the end of the second round going into the third.
Yeah.
You could have forced Johnny to go out there.
Yeah.
And he, with the greatest respect to him, he might have ended up getting stopped.
Yeah, and there was a whole lot of things around that. It was just after Cavallo that.
Yeah.
Was everybody a bit sensitive after that?
Everybody was sensitive. Of course, so was I.
Of course, I.
Really sensitive over it, like, because I seen firsthand of what happened. But his mother was in the front row.
Oh shit! Right, okay.
If you listen to it, it's probably up there somewhere. The whole way through, all you could hear was, "No, Johnny, no."
Oh,
like
God
a
love her.
squealing voice,
God love her.
crying. I was going, "Who the fuck is that?" And looking out, that was his mother, and he was looking out and looking.
Oh, so
out,
he was distracted then as well.
Gee, and he came back in the corner, and I literally went, "Johnny, you're not in this, are you?" And he just didn't answer me.
Yeah.
And he's not.
That was all the answer you
Like,
needed.
that's all I needed. Like,
Oh,
and,
well done then.
and
Well
just
done.
to his talent. But the abuse I got after.
I always say,
Who fucking will give you abuse after?
People, it was a forum. Do you remember the forum?
yeah.
The some forum, but you just do that in because of the Carvalho stuff and all.
Oh, do people think this was a contrived gesture or something on your part?
100%.
No, you were saving. I always say
Holy
this.
shit.
And I'll say this.
Yeah, I was mad at the time. I was going, "What are you talking about, lads?"
I'll say this
guess
at
it's
least
just
once a
nuts,
show.
like.
I do. Sometimes you have to save a fighter from themselves.
Yeah, definitely.
Whether that's the referee or whether that's the coach. And as a coach, you have an obligation to the fighter as well.
Yeah.
And again, I thought it was fantastic corner, and I'm surprised you caught flag for it.
I did.
thought
Did
that
cause
was
a lot
very
of flack
strange.
for it, like, you know.
Yeah, you're going
But here, listen,
to have that in any decision you make, any fucking public
do you know,
decision.
I like if you're not catching flack, you're not doing things right.
You
like,
probably
you know,
have people looking for an excuse sometimes, especially with
Yeah.
the position you occupy.
Yeah.
You probably might have people waiting
Yeah.
to throw.
Oh,
that.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. And look, you know, I don't think that's there now. I think, you know, we're very together up here in MMA in the north. You know,
Yeah.
so very, very much
Did
together.
it take a
like,
while?
so- Took a good while, yeah, because they're all good guys. But I think people just have to earn a trust of each other
That's it. Yeah.
and know we're all in it.
There was a few years of
and the benefits of it.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah. No, go ahead. No.
Like the benefits, you look. There's cut men earning a living out of it. Referees earning a living out of it. There's shows flying. At the minute. Commentators earn a living. But no, but it's,
Do you make
it's
a few
brilliant.
quid, do you?
They all right.
Not earn a living, but you know what I mean. You're getting
Not
you've
earn a
a
living.
you've a conduit to do your stuff. You know.
Yeah.
It's never there.
You've
Never
a
there.
platform, and then you know what you're now seeing is a frequency and a consistency of good shows, which is good. Where the matchmaking's great, the quality of fights are great. What was it for you going back to sticking your promoter hat on?
Yes. Yeah.
What was it made you think? Yes, I want to start a promotion. I want to do this. I want to leave a little or create a little bit of an imprint in MMA.
Yeah. Yeah, it was that. It was a bit of, we were struggling to get good fights. We're struggling to get people matched, and I thought, look, do it ourselves, and we can tackle that ourselves, you know, and get, and like Jared, you know Jared,
Yep.
like unbelievable. He's found his calling. Like, he's just unbelievable at it, doing a great job. The other side of it was I wanted to have it in a government or a council venue and go that way. Far more difficult to do, far more expensive to do.
Really?
Oh, jeez,
And
more
there was-
expensive, like, you know.
They're with
Well, like town halls and shit like that.
the,
isn't
the,
it?
the Girdwood Community Hub is
Yeah.
a fantastic
Brilliant
venue,
venue for
absolute fantastic venue for Gladiator, which is the name of your show. We hadn't mentioned it. Fantastic show, but they were a wee bit dubious because they had previously had a bad relationship.
They
with the
had
promotion
bad.
that
They
came
were.
in.
I didn't negate all that. They had a bad.
So you
bad
were,
image of it
you
all.
were,
You
you were
know.
having to put out fires that you didn't start.
Yes, so we had to go down. I had to show them. I mean, the amount of paperwork I had to do for them, and the amount of you know. I suppose you have a reputation, and they knew who you were, so it wasn't bad that way. They knew you were going to do things right. You know?
Yeah.
But it was so difficult. Like, I mean, so difficult. The first one, second one, brilliant because with everything in place. The first one, 2 weeks before the fight, the head of the Girdwood rang me and went, right, that's great. You've got everything in place. I've just to put it to the council now. And I went, 2 weeks out.
Oh shit!
Just to
mate.
put it to the council. there's
And here, did
there's 700 people, and a lot of fighters will be down here.
Did they
like
clear it?
Sunday.
Did the
Yeah,
council
they
clear it
cleared,
quickly?
like, yeah, I had a few contacts. I went
Oh, good.
sort of that way. And
What do you feel? This is almost a cliche to ask, but what do you feel that you would want your legacy? I know your kids are involved and everything else, but what would you feel that you would like to leave behind as your mark in mixed martial arts?
it's funny, like I don't know.
You haven't thought about
It's a
it.
fucking heavy duty question.
That's a big one. Like,
I
I
mean, I think
don't
I'm
know.
still fucking high from mushrooms. Mate. I'm joking.
I don't know. No, it's a good question because you get up every day and you think, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, I mean, I still train quite a lot and I still like I hold the pads every night for these monsters.
How are the shoulders?
It's more these forearms and all getting destroyed by them.
30 years of holding tight.
Yeah, and you're just like you're doing 10 fighters a night, like it's and they're all hitters, like because all we do is hit, like strike, you know.
Should learn a wee bit of jiu-jitsu.
I know, mate.
Just fix your game.
A wee bit of wrestling could change it for you.
I know, a wee bit of
Imagine how good a club you'll have.
Yeah, it's mad, like it is mad. Some people still think that, you know. But yet, no, the legacy thing. I think I walk about Glengormley and you're talking to people who like Sir Rowan, for example, who's 30, whatever he is, 34, 35 or something now, like, and he's been going since he's 5-year-old, you know. And coaching grandkids, so people coach, which is mad.
Everybody's going to be still talking about you long after you're gone, man. That's brilliant.
Well, do you know what? As long as people mightn't like it, people whatever, but I think nobody can say I didn't do it for the right reason. I did everything for the right reason. That's as simple as that. I mean, I don't, because this isn't a job for me, and I always say to people the difference, and it's hard to explain to people. I know that person walks through my door, I'm going to give him my best because I'm not looking at the pound signs.
Of course,
and that's just my personal thing. I also could say fuck off because I don't know anything.
That's it. You're the most centered fucking martial artist I've met in a fucking long time, man. You've just got that zen about you, and you can feel it as soon as you come in the room, mate. You're just, you know what I mean? That's it.
Tell my wife, will you?
I say you're here.
What are some of your fondest memories? We'll go as a fan first, as a fan of the sport.
Okay, that's a good one.
What are some of your fondest memories? But doesn't necessarily have to be Irish MMA. Just for me, there's wee moments
specific fights and fucking moments in MMA.
There's wee moments like UFC 68 in Columbus, Ohio. Randy Couture's comeback fight.
Randy Couture was I loved him. So that's the one. Yeah. That's the one.
Opens the fight with an inside leg kick to overhand and
Big
drops
giant.
him. Then he gets him for 5 rounds.
Yeah, like I loved all that early UFC and watching it on. What the hell station was it on?
Bravo. Yeah,
you know, and
but it wasn't on live. It was on at 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
the next day.
Yeah.
So you had to stay away from the internet. But you could tell how long the main event was going to go. By how long was left in the show.
Yeah, no, with all that stuff and just look. I think Rowan Prendeville, probably one of the biggest ones that, as you say, that won the Odyssey against Conor Wade. You know, he wasn't. Everybody thought Conor was going to destroy him, and the whole crowd singing Conor, wait.
Yeah,
because they're all from Ballymena. Everybody there was from Ballymena, and Rowan just walking out in that third round and going. If you watch it closely, and you probably have watched it, he got his nose battered, like, and he was out, he went down, and he just pops back up again, and he walks as he gets up off Conor Wade. I think that broke Conor's heart.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And you see him walking about, and this was Rowan. Rowan used to frustrate me because he had so much skill, but went, right, I'll fight you. You know, Daggy Dalton fight. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Rowan was walking back from he just went, fuck him. I went, right, we're winning here, like, you know. So, on the Daggy Dalton fight, one of the. But then, like, you know, we came Brazen, one of the best in the gym. You know, works so hard, does everything for everybody. You know, and the way when he fought. Cage conflict.
Mark Andrews.
Yep. Like, I was in bed with COVID or whatever it was then.
Flu.
And I wasn't allowed out of the house, and just waiting to hear this results. And I had messaged him just before the exact techniques he knocked him out with. Just do that. And he clipped him.
I think you told me that as well. You showed me the message.
Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable. And he come up my street singing black at night, you know, and I was at the top window. But there's millions of moments, you know, but it's more when you're looking at kids and how they're
That's what I was going to say next. As a coach, what are the standout moments for you? Obviously, some of the stuff Carl McNally's done.
Some of the stuff McNally's done, phenomenal. And the opportunities with KSW and going away with KSW, just unbelievable from nothing. I mean, none of these kids come to the gym with any background and any martial art, anything. And I love that. They're just raw, having a clue what they're even getting into, and then the next thing, the goal.
You find that lets you be able to kind of fucking make better fighters and mold them to be. Because they're not
sounds a bit like grooming that, like.
Listen, don't worry about it. Sure, I groom Phil. No, but you know what I mean. That little preconceived or fucking bad habits or anything else that you have to fucking try and work out with them.
And you asked me earlier on about, do you look at kids and go, he's going to be who? You'll never know that.
Yeah.
40 odd years doing this, you'll never know that.
You just don't know.
It generally is the one that you're not suspecting.
Okay.
The one at the back, and he's sitting there just listening. You know, the wee one that's all up front. Might be good, might not be, but I always like the ones that are in the background. And
fantastic.
I think a real hallmark of a good club is that people start at that club and stay with that club, or people will move to that club and that becomes, and they
Home.
don't.
Yeah.
You've had a few guys.
Yeah.
You guys that I trained previously with Jason.
Brilliant.
Jason's training.
Unbelievable.
Great lad.
Great kids.
The
Ben Norris,
improvements in his game, leaps and bounds since he came to you. He's a night and day fighter.
Yeah, and it's something new for us. And I actually always went.
Yeah, because guys that were with you were usually there from day dot.
Day one.
Was that a strange process, a transitional process of then guys going from a gym to your gym?
Yeah.
And how do you...
The Jason one was
funny. How do you
funny.
embed them, or how do you ingratiate them into the gym now?
I think, you just treat them as soon as they come in. And I've talked to Jason since this. He couldn't believe it. He was fucking welcomed so much as soon as he walked in the door.
He's a good kid.
And you don't... Look, judge nobody. And I've learned that through all the youth programs. And I say, coaching over Favela, judge nobody. Who they are, what somebody's saying about them. Or he's that and he's this. Listen, come in and... Because we have some serious characters in gym over the years, and there's always somebody out there trying to tell you, he's no good or he's this, Judge by the way they get on, the way they behave, everybody else.
I gotta know, because he's happy to stick with mixed martial arts. Outside of that, what does Danny Corr like to do? What have you anything outside of martial arts that you like to get involved in?
That's just no, only joking. I love martial arts.
Yeah.
Always have done, always will do. Love everything about it. I think it just dictates life about what life's about. You get in there, we're all scared.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Any fighter tells you they're not scared, a liar or a psychopath, one of the two. So
yeah.
We're all frightened of ourselves and what we can do or what we can't do. So I just love that whole thing. I was a wee nothing scared wee lad from Ardoyne, grew up and never thought of fitted in anything, found martial arts.
You had a whole community.
The whole community around it, but I just like to chill out. I like my cigars. I like some beers. Love going out with my brother and a couple of mates every week.
Listen to the Lee Rogers record.
Listen to the Lee Rogers. Sat out my back with my cigar, blasting it out.
Did you?
I'm in love with this guy. My man. And I keep telling people about him.
You're a good lad, mate. You're a good lad. I appreciate that. The vinyl worked out. You get the vinyl on your
vinyl on my mother's 60-odd-year-old radiogram.
That's why.
What did that sound like? I'm curious.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Crackly and all.
That's great.
It is. That's how you should listen to my music.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about obviously so your gym's not just a martial arts gym. There's so much mentorship goes on there as well. Is it difficult to strike a balance between coach and mentor, or are they one and the same?
I think they're one and the same. I think it should be. Physically, if you weren't physically, and obviously I'm finding as I get older, not as physically able as I was, still all right, still can do the things, and that's where the coaching and the mentorship comes in. You have to find out what that kid's about. Really. You can't treat them all the same. There's no such thing. You can't.
Do you find that kids will come to you now if they have like stuff going on outside?
Social worker.
That's huge. That's
social
huge
worker.
because I think obviously I come from a youth work background, come from a counselling background. What I always find is if you're doing a session, if you sit down with a kid and do a clinical session, how are you feeling today? What's going on? You're not going to get to the root of anything.
And we've had youth workers in do that, and it doesn't work.
Your conversations, your genuine, real conversations, come in tandem, parallel with doing something like
the best part of our gym. Now they're all self heal now together. So the best part of our gym every night after the class is finished, we
check-in sessions.
No. Youth workers do that. No, they all sit. And they sit for a good hour after.
Is that right? Just chewing the fat, talking.
And that's the best part of it,
Yeah, look at Emmett now. Peer support.
Look at Emmett. Emmett's now a specialist youth worker with the Bates Project, So when he came through all that youth program stuff, and that's what he's doing first.
I know my wee boy's looking to get up in. So
happy days.
Love it.
He's 12.
Yeah,
brilliant. He's a good kid. Wee southpaw. No, he's not actually. He's orthodox stance.
He's a left-handed.
He's a left-handed
orthodox.
He's a left-handed orthodox.
Yeah. There's some brilliant gyms about now, like some brilliant clubs and stuff.
Yeah, well, you see you've the likes of yourselves, for example, FAI's rise to prominence. Everyone knew what a great gym it was, and it always had fantastic fighters. Yeah. But this current crop and this current wave, and the generation behind that, I think there's some scary guys. Damien McGuigan makes his pro debut on Cage Conflict. Yeah. He's a talent,
class kid, And I remember Damien when he was really young. He fought in a wee thing we had in a hotel in Carrick, wee exhibition fight thing, So look, the goal now is to keep it going and make it better and make sure everybody comes back. All those kids that are coming up, that they start giving back to the sport. And that's how you develop it.
Some man, mate. Some man.
A self-fulfilling thing, you know.
Yeah, it has to, because like that's what I keep saying to them. I'm not doing your corners anymore too much, like, because it killed you. Like, I'm trying to explain to them, like, you know, especially look at that last show. You know, your Emmett didn't go his way, so you're devastated.
So you have to get over that for the next fight.
Yeah, Maskey's out next. I have to walk up the stairs and go, right, let's go.
Jesus.
And that Maskey McGill fight, it was still for me. That's one of the best fights in
Mad.
MMA.
I'm like, you know, a bit like the Rowan Prendable of the world. Like, I remember Rowan fighting Daggy Dalton, which is still Rowan's raging. There's no video footage of that. Do you remember that? Do you remember Daggy Dalton?
I remember Daggy Dalton now. Was that Clan Wars, was it?
Cage Contender.
Cage Contender.
In
King's Hall.
King's Hall.
Yeah,
that was 2012 or 2013, was it?
That was a long time ago.
Like but a war, and Rowan spitting blood out and going, "Come on!" And I go, "You do karate, stop doing this."
Tell me, was that the one with fucking Hugh Brady and Mickey Doyle? Was that show?
May have been that show.
Yeah, it was corner meet Carl Bell.
Carl Bell fought on that one as well. Yeah.
They were mad shows, you know.
That was 2012 then.
A long time ago.
Madness.
It's mad to think how long you've been involved in the sport of MMA, and how you've seen. When you start seeing generations of fighters in the next
still a
generation,
blow-in.
you're still just a karate guy.
You're still just a karate guy. You're still just a karate guy. Yeah. It is mad, and to see the evolution of it, unbelievable. Like, you look at the IMAF stuff, and you know, I fell out with IMAF a wee bit for good reasons. But
we will not get into that. But I think anyone who's acutely aware of MMA at that level knows that mistakes were made.
Yep.
Big mistakes. Well, I wouldn't even call them mistakes. Intentional things are mistakes, but there you go.
Wow, yeah.
But it's an amazing setup, an amazing forum for kids, especially the young ones.
It's great developmental structure. I always say.
Unbelievable, and it's very hard. It's a hard system, like where you're, as you say, if you win, you have to fight and weigh in exactly the next day.
Yeah.
You're doing that like Jack and Kieran Breslin won their bronze medals. 4 days weighing in, fighting 3 or 4 hours after you weigh in.
Oh shit, same day weigh-in?
Same day weigh-in.
Oh, same day weigh-in.
You get being fucking pieces.
It's brutal.
You'd be in pieces.
Where do you stand on same day weigh-ins? Because I have fours and against. I think there's never going to be any perfect structure.
Same day weigh-ins need to be on your weight. You need to be fighting a different weight class.
Guys will still cut weight.
They're going to go in. They're going to be useless.
Yeah, they're going to go in at a deficit. But
and if you're dealing with the countries that will not mention, we're doing it honestly. Like, I'm going over there with like Jack and Brad and those boys, and you're doing it honest, or you're doing it straight the way, naively doing it, and then next thing you're walking out and why is there a whole lot of tubes and needles and about?
Yeah.
So
guys getting IVs,
guys getting
IVs and stuff. Yeah,
you can't play with that, you know. So I think it's a balance, isn't it? Day before, I'd prefer, as long as they're not doing the 10 kilo, 12 kilo weight cuts, you know. Day off, I just think psychologically, even for a fighter, that's just tough. Like,
do you have fighters that say they're doing day before weigh-ins and they're about to go into the sauna and they have X amount to cut? Would you be like, that's too much, I'm not letting you do that?
Yeah, we don't like, probably one of the biggest cutters, and he'll not maybe saying it is Breslin, Kieran.
Right,
Breslin,
okay.
Like, yeah.
What way is he? What's he walk around at to his cut and then back to?
I'll not tell him, Kieran. I'll not even say. He would have cut, but he was brilliant at it. He was so scientific, and he knew exactly.
You were always fucking pretty good at it.
He knew everything. He'd done it because he's that kind of brain.
Yeah.
Whereas other kids they'll pile in, 10 litres of water every day for a week.
Do you know what? I never water loaded. It never worked for me.
I don't like it. Like, don't do it for Jack.
I don't like it at all. But I would have.
Tough fun to do.
I got fat in between was my issue because I love snacks. Yeah. I absolutely fucking love snacks. See wee bar chocolate, wee Kinder Bueno. Fuck me.
Oh, when you hear what he done to me last night? When you hear that?
That's a different
camera still on, is it?
No, you brought up the Kinder Bueno. When you hear what the cunt done, right?
That's a young man's food.
What he does, he chews the back of...
I don't chew it, I break it off.
Fucking chewed the back of it off, right? Chewed the back of both of them off, and he makes a super Bueno, so he puts the two of them together. When you hear this here?
Get the two sticks, right? The open cups, put them together.
Right.
Smush them down a wee bit.
Right, so slabbers all over his hands, fucking melted chocolate. He says, I made that for you, mate.
Did you eat it?
fucking did I?
You did, I made you.
When?
I mean, you'd hit about 3 grams of mushroom, didn't you?
I sat at the one side. So then Danny says, "Aye, mate, thanks very much for fucking slobbers."
You woke up the next morning, just
Anyway, sorry, mate. Sorry, I had a fucking...
No, you're all right.
You say
I would
No.
with regards to cutting, because I blew up in between.
Yeah.
I would have started about 93 kilos,
Yeah.
and then over the course of about 10 weeks got down to 70 or 66.
Brazen would have got down to 61.
And it's
From what you're talking about.
and that's a law of diminishing returns. You know, it's not
Yeah.
to do
When you
that
get older,
consistently.
it can't-
To do it
it's
consistently is not great for you.
The worst
fuck your
best
hormones
one
up,
was Big Aaron Candy.
Yeah,
Who
well,
was,
he was
a
huge.
machine. Like, I don't think you see welterweights locally now the way
No.
he looked like.
No,
he
'cause he
was
would-
an absolute.
He would have weighed in at 77 kilos, and I reckon he would have been in and around 84 when he was going in.
If I told you he lost, and that made me saying this because it's a long time ago, like at least 10 kilos overnight one.
Wow,
Overnight.
Down in, it was Bama down south.
that is crazy.
And like, when you think back then, you know, again, you're learning these things, you go, God. And he was tapped
We're
out.
learning by doing it at the time.
Yeah, he was caught in a triangle. I forget what it was, but he was caught in a submission. When he's caught in a submission, man, it's like, fuck. Like, he wasn't hit.
Because you're people who don't know when you're cutting weight, you're depriving the brain of fluid, which means that you're essentially your brain is a lot more fragile, and
it's
you
scary,
don't even
like.
need to be hit a clean shot.
Yeah.
That's why you'll see guys at even the elite level, maybe cutting big weight and getting popped with a jab, and getting dropped, and people are like, "What's going on there?"
Yeah, I think there's no real answer to it. I think more weight categories obviously is a thing, but
Then there's the argument that if you have more weight categories, you dilute the authenticity of a championship, so to speak.
Yeah.
But so again, I'm not playing devil's advocate.
yeah, no,
just-
there's no easy.
But there's huge gaps. Say, for example, light heavyweight to heavyweight is one of the biggest deficits. 205 heavyweight, and then your 205 light heavyweight. Your upper limit of heavyweight is 265 pounds.
Fuck off, man.
So you've got a huge.
I didn't know that. I
disparity.
didn't realise that was that big a
So you could
jump.
be like 110 kilos fighting somebody's 100.
Yeah. So if I'm a guy who's 98 kilo, I'll be a 98 kilo heavyweight.
Yep.
And that's my walk around weight. I don't want to. I can then fight somebody who's at that upper level of 120 kilo,
That's nuts,
or even
man.
cutting weight to make that 120. Lesnar had to cut weight to make heavyweight.
Yeah.
Shane Carwin, I think, had to cut weight as well. We don't want to keep you too much longer, Danny. But one thing I wanted to talk to you about is something I would like to see more in the Irish MMA community is a collaborative working effort or collaborative working relationship between promotions and gyms. Yeah. Because there was an incident, not an incident, but there was a day where we had 3 shows on the same weekend.
Yeah.
And I think if there was more of an open forum for communication, you know, guys will say, I have my show on this date. You know, there's, because that's 3 shows of a weekend that, you know, fighters that want to fight on shows aren't getting the opportunity. You're having maybe teams split here and there.
Could you imagine the fucking argument spot trying to set that up?
Yeah, there would be. There would be, yeah.
I think success of up north is part of that because there are so many shows up here now. If you look
Some
down,
great shows. Some
brilliant
great shows.
Yeah, you look down south.
There's nothing anymore.
Nothing really. One or two maybe, and I think one or more coming. But up here, there's that many good shows.
IUR is a great show. Dickie McAleenan does a great job. Cage Conflict, a fantastic show. Your show's a great show. You have
like we're one of the newest ones to it, you know. And so I'm gonna we've one in December, and we'll have a group, a WhatsApp group, to say look, people are putting in when their shows are and stuff, you know. So I think it'll start to get a bit better at that. You know, I think that last year there was there 3 in one weekend or something?
Yeah.
Or 4?
Yeah.
You can't
I think it comes down to it'll come with time because good faith is accrued and earned.
Yeah.
So as long as you have everyone involved,
and it's getting the problem it's going to be getting the fighters to fill those shows, you know, because it's hard to keep kids can't fight all the time. They've all jobs, they're all working, they're not doing it. You know.
Nor do you want to dilute a card just by putting people on for the sake of putting people on it. You know,
I think it should be something we're thinking about and talking to Jared about having a pure novice event and not a show. Yeah. Like when I say pure novice, I mean that you haven't got 50 boxing fights under your belt. And you haven't got
because that's another thing that is creeping into the Irish MMA scene a little bit. Yeah. Guys that are maybe having a novice fight but are an All Ireland boxing champion.
Yeah,
that shouldn't be allowed
or something like that.
Or even like having 10 novice fights and all stuff like that. Like like I don't see the benefit of it. You know, like it's not. There is a difference between novice and an amateur. We need to draw a line down it somewhere and say, look, this is novice only to get people kicked off, you know. And maybe you'll have your novice fight and go, fuck, don't like it. I'm not
I remember a guy on the scene had about 10, 11, 12 novice fights.
Yeah.
And he was I got to the stage where it was tantamount to bullying.
Yes.
He'd been training about 40 years.
And you're learning skills that this other novice hasn't got, you know. So that's something I'm thinking about, you know, just having not a show, like a hall somewhere, just a novice event, stick a cage up, no.
Just adding more craziness to your your diary.
I always say that. Look, I'll stop. I'll calm down a wee bit. But nah, why would I do that? Although I'm not, as I said, I'm semi-retiring from work here, civil service.
Oh, good, happy days, man. Aye.
This month.
And you're only 45 too.
Started when I was 5 years of age. So, yeah, I've done 40 years in the civil service.
How quickly did that go? Outside, how quickly did that time go?
Flew. Yeah. I look at Jack and all that, and I go, Jesus Christ, I'm coming 26, 27.
That's nuts, man.
You know, there were only kids following me about in the gym, you know, so. And I look at them like, you know.
They just grew up in the gym and just got involved without it being a thing.
Yeah.
Great lads, by the way.
Sports,
I've so much time for your boys.
I'm looking forward to meeting them. They like all my reposts. Every time I put repost up, they're straight in.
And they're all so different. I have identical twins, different, great kids. Emmett, character, and Jack. You know,
even fighting styles are different as well.
Well, I always say Jack and Emmett learned their styles from each other. Emmett's a lovely counter and lovely. Jack's just relentless.
Oh, so
doesn't stop. You know?
Right, okay.
Just constantly hitting you.
Do they both spar together as well?
Yeah, still spar. When they're younger, kill each other. Now it's
it's a bit more controlled.
You know. But like I remember Jack on the Nolan show with you that time.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It was a classic. Like it was I keep seeing that coming up, you know. And it's
he spoke brilliantly too.
Yeah,
Nolan's a horrible cunt too, isn't he?
He's a professional contrarian.
Loved him, but which got
he's a good lad. Good lad. Sorry.
But yeah, that's mad. Even again, it sort of shows to me like. From a young age, you know, your boys are ambassadors of the sport too, and they represent the sport brilliantly, which again is a credit to yourself. But we'll wrap things up. We're finishing up. When is the next show? Where is it?
7th of December in Girdwood again.
Right, and where can tickets be got for that?
Tickets we do hard tickets, like don't do online stuff, you know. So all the fighters will have them, like and it's already. We're going to have some great fighters.
And we'll talk about, just tell us about the club, where it is, what's going on.
Club's in Glengormley, above Madame Fo's.
And what's it called?
It's called ZKJ.
Which stands for?
Zanchin Karate Jutsu.
Fucking fantastic.
I love that. You know, we're always going to keep that, you know. It was the saying is the Enzo saying of the Zen thing, always learning, and the middle of it is called fighting spirit.
And if people wanted to get in contact about getting involved in a program or starting to train at your gym, how would they do that?
Well, Instagram's probably the best way now. Like a page there's KJ_MMA, but we're going to start another youth program here in September, which is all teens.
How long will that run for?
Ever. Ever since
they're fucking 50. Their knees don't work anymore.
Yeah, that's it.
So they've done 40 years.
They've done 40 years. They're at it. Like we've got, as I say, like you look at people like Sir Carr McNally, Breslin. They all started on a youth program. You know, so
that's fantastic, man.
Happy days.
Well, Danny, thank you so much for your time.
No, that's been brilliant.
Genuinely,
that's been brilliant. It's been like
the
best second date with Liam ever.
We appreciate this, man.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Bat and the Bandit episode 31 with myself, my best friend Lee Rogers, his best friend Danny Corr. See you next time.